During Black History Month, we try to bring back to our school people who have been successful and people who have grown up in this community. Today we bring a very special guest to you, and one of our honor students from the 8th grade will have the pleasure of introducing her. Charlene?
Good afternoon. I would like to take a moment to introduce our speaker. Dr. Berry is a native Montgomeryan. He is a graduate of Carver High School. He completed his undergraduate education at the University of Alabama in 1974. He received his medical degree in 1978 from Meharry Medical College in Nashville, Tennessee. Following graduation from medical school, he began 5 years of intensive training required for his surgical specialty. His early surgical training was through a rotation of teaching hospitals in New Orleans, Louisiana, including Charity Hospital and the Ochsner Foundation Hospital. His more advanced senior surgical training was at the Mount Sinai Medical Center, Chicago, Illinois. He completed his surgical training in June of 1983 at Mount Sinai. At that time, he received the prestigious Abby Norman Prince Award for Most Outstanding Chief Surgical Resident. After completion of his training, he returned to Montgomery and worked for 1 year as a staff surgeon with a local surgical group. He began his solo practice in surgery in August 1984. His specific surgical interest developed from the problems he saw most frequently during the days of his early time in practice. He is certified by the American Board of Surgery. He is a member of the American Medical Association, the Montgomery County Medical Society, and the Capital City Medical Society of Montgomery. He served as president of the Capital City Medical Society from 1985 to 1987. In his office, the emphasis is on kindness, courtesy, and surgical excellence. He is married to Dr. James Franklin Berry. It is with great pleasure that I introduce to you Dr. Wesley H. Berry, Jr.
Thank you very much, Ms. I really don't have anything magical to tell you this afternoon, but there are a few things I'd like to say, a few things that basically coming from me to you. This is no magic formula. These are some things that I've learned through the years and some things that have stayed with me and have helped me through my growth and through my early career. I feel that there are basically 4 keys to success. Those 4 keys are: number 1, hard work; number 2, setting very high goals; number 3, desire; number 4, you have to believe in yourselves. Now let me explicate those 4 things. Hard work, obviously, at this time in grade school and high school, hard work is essential so that you achieve the grades that you have to achieve to go further. I want all of you to realize that in this world, as hard as it is for us to sometimes accept, you have to realize that we are still in a time that you cannot be as good as your counterparts. Counterparts being your white counterparts. You have to actually be better than. You have to strive for greatness in all endeavors to achieve anything, not just health, careers, whatever you aspire to do. You're going to find in the real world, you're going to have to be better than as good as. You're going to have to be better than. So hard work is essential. When I say high goals, I'm saying if the average person is here and you set your goals about here. You have to realize that there are going to be many stumbling blocks that we all encounter in life, in everyday life. So when you're trying to achieve something, if your goals are only set where the average is, when you encounter those stumbling blocks and you fall a little bit short of that goal, and you can see you may fall a little bit short of where you'd like to be. But if you set your goals here and you encounter those same stumbling blocks, then maybe you won't quite get there. But even if you get here, you're still ahead of the game. So we have to begin by setting those goals very high. The third thing I mentioned was desire. You have to want it. Because, you know, if you don't want it, if you don't want it bad enough, you're not going to achieve anything. I've known many students and many people who are trying to do things for other people, not for themselves. They were going to college because mama wanted them to go. They were aspiring to become lawyers or doctors or other professionals because their parents wanted them to do it. In my mind, one of the most important things is that you want it, that you desire to achieve. Because out of that desire comes hard work. The desire, if you want it bad enough, you'll work hard for it. If you have desire, you'll set your goals higher. So desire is very important to success. And the last thing I mentioned was you have to believe in yourselves. You have to believe in yourselves before others will believe in you. If you believe in yourselves and you're able to overcome some of the stumbling blocks you're going to encounter. Bear in mind, I have no idea, well, I do have an idea about the environment that some of you may be a part of right now. But you have to bear in mind that in that environment, there may be a lot of naysayers, a lot of people who are going to be skeptical, who are going to doubt you, or who may not encourage you, who may inadvertently be obstacles in your path. They're going to be people who are going to tell you that there is no way that you can achieve some of the lofty goals you may set for yourselves. That's why it's so important that you first believe in yourselves. I'm going to tell you a little story. And this is a true story about a little boy born and raised right here in Montgomery, Alabama, West Montgomery, Alabama. For the sake of the story, I'm going to call the little boy Henry. Now, you know, Henry, as I said, was born in the part of Montgomery that a lot of you may not be familiar with. It's kind of old West Montgomery off Day Street, Dirt Street. In those days, a very rough community. A community where street fights and gangs and shootings and cuttings and all of these things were very common. An area that by today's standards would be considered poor. It was a rough area. And, you know, Henry came from a family of about 6 children. Mother and father weren't together. They were separated in other states. Henry's grandmother raised himself and his 5 siblings in this rough area. But you know, his grandmother was a good woman. She wanted things, and she wanted to do things for the children, but you know, she had to raise 6 children and go to work every day, so she really couldn't spend the time with Henry that she would have liked to. And so, as the story goes, Henry kind of went astray. He became involved with little neighborhood street gangs and did a lot of things he shouldn't have done, got in and out of little bits of trouble. But Henry had another side. He wasn't all bad. He was a fairly affable, friendly person. He was a talkative person. He got along well with people. So in school, somehow his teachers, his principal, saw something in this little boy. I mean, they knew about his background, and they knew he did a lot of things he shouldn't do, but they saw something in him. They believed in him when he didn't believe in himself. Now bear in mind, his family background was such that his grandmother was not an educated woman, because no one in his family had ever gone to college. So there wasn't very much at home by way of encouragement. So years pass, and again, Henry continues to live his dual role of doing okay in school. He wasn't dedicated to his homework. He didn't work real hard in school, but he did get pretty good grades somehow, because he would pay attention in class, but he wasn't encouraged at home to do the work. Years passed, and finally something happened that began to turn Henry around. The street gang was involved in a street fight. And the other gang was getting the best of his gang, so Henry and his friends ran away. One member of his gang, a very dear friend of his, was a kind of short, chubby fellow, kind of slow. He couldn't run very fast. So Henry's friend was stabbed and killed during that fight. That made Henry realize that, or began to realize, there has to be a better way. So he started to set some goals for himself. He wanted to be an astronaut. Well, you know, in that neighborhood, I think probably the individuals that have achieved the most were those people who had either dropped out of school or barely finished high school and gone into some form of the armed services. Those were the achievers in the community. They were no doctors or lawyers or educators or anything like that. Maybe a few truck drivers or something like that. But so again, there was not very much for him to aspire to when he looked at his environment. And the people that he talked to every day, when he talked about things like being an astronaut, I mean, that was so far-fetched. I mean, they laughed at it. You know, they'd say, no way. You know, how you live on Guthrie Street, how you going to be an astronaut? You can't be an astronaut. You're poor. You can't even go to college. Pretty soon, Henry believed that, and, you know, he kind of forgot about his lofty goals and just kind of went on through school. And finally, he came to high school now. Now he's a young man, and he's still trying to find himself. Goes out for the football team. And finally it comes down to the big day when he's either going to make the team or he's going to get cut from the team. And, you know, he's tired. It's a hot August day, and he's scrimmaging real hard. You know, he's trying hard, but, you know, it's just too tough for him. And finally he comes to the sideline and he tells the coach, Coach, I just can't go. I can't make it. I give up. Well, you know, his coach was this big, black, burly, strong type of coach that all of you may be familiar with. And he kind of grabbed Henry and pulled him in and said, boy, don't you ever tell me what you can't do. When the going gets tough, I want you to reach back and get something. Pull it in. Keep going. With that, he threw Henry back on the field, scared to death. But he got up. He got back up to the line. He continued to play that day. He made the team. And he went on to play football. Well, you know, with that incident, Henry began to think again. Now, wait a minute now. You know, there have been some other things in my life I wanted to do. And I gave up on them because I didn't think I could do them. I didn't believe I could do them. Now, Coach made me believe I could do this, and I did. So he began to wonder. Now, I wonder if there are other things that I could do if I really truly believed that I could accomplish them. I wonder. So now again he began to think. Again he began to wonder. So anyway, as the story goes, Henry went on through high school, and now he's a senior. And, you know, as all seniors in high school do, he met a young lady and he thought he was madly in love and aspired to win her heart. But this young lady was from the other side of town. She was from what would be considered at that time a well-to-do family in a nice area of town. Her parents were educators, and she aspired, already planned to go to college. And her housing was totally different from Henry's. So again, in order to, you know, Henry began to realize that if he was going to be able to maintain this kind of relationship, again, he began to want a little bit more, to wonder what else he could do. He began to wonder if he could do more with his life than what he had planned. So now, for the first time, Henry decided he was going to set some goals. He wanted more than just to finish high school and go to the service, which is what his plan had been up to that time. Now, Henry had a desire. He had begun to believe in himself. And now he was continuing to get the encouragement from his teachers, from his principal, from his guidance counselors. But now it was coming through, whereas before it wasn't. Because now he wanted it. And now he began to believe in himself. So now he could hear what they were trying to tell him all the while, all of his life. So anyway, as the story goes, Henry decided he was going to go to college. Well, my goodness, again, the naysayers. You know, many people tell him, no way, how you going to go to college? You don't have any money. Parents don't have any money. You can't go to college. No way. Okay? But see, now Henry believed he could. Henry believed in himself, and he wanted it bad enough. So he worked a couple of jobs during the summer, and he worked another job during the school year, and he got a little work study, a loan, and a grant, and this and that, and he put himself through college. Worked real hard. For the first time in his life, he worked hard at his studies. Got through college. Now Henry had set a goal for himself that was beyond imagination for the people that were around him or that had been around him all of his life. Henry decided he was going to be a doctor. My God, that was like shooting for the moon. No one could believe it. No way. Henry, you can't do that. I didn't tell you that to be braggadocious. I didn't tell you that story to be ostentatious. I told you that story because I wanted to point, or to make a point to you, that you can do and you can be whatever you decide that you want to be. I beg you, don't accept your environment, your family situation, your economic situation, your parents' background situation or educational situation, your friends. Don't accept any of these negative influences. Don't allow these things to limit you. Remember 4 things. You have to set your goals high. You have to reach for the stars. You have to work very, very hard. Bear in mind what I said earlier. You've got to be better than. You can't be as good as. You've got to have the desire. God knows you got to want it. And lastly, you have got to believe in you. You've got to make it happen. You've got to make a way out of no way. You've got to make a way. I mean, when the going gets rough, and it seems like you can't go on, and you're on your last leg, and you've done all you can do, you've got to reach back and get something. Put it in. Pull your cells up and keep going. You can't wait. You can't expect anybody else to get it done for you. You've got to do it. And you can only do it if you remember those 4 things and live by those 4 things. I don't profess to be any shining example to anybody, but I think my life mirrors probably a lot of your lives. And all I'm saying to you is that you can make it happen. But you've got to do it. I enjoyed talking to you this afternoon.
Let's give Dr. Berry another hand. It really makes me feel good when we can bring somebody home. And you know, I love Bellingrass because all of us, look at our student body. This is home. We have one white student. I think we got a new one Friday, didn't we? We have 2 white students in our school. Everybody else here is black. And everybody else in here is going to take everything you said and let it soak in. We have some reporters here who were writing, Dr. Berry. If you saw anyone writing when you were here, those are our school reporters. So they were just writing down what you were saying. Would we please let our students who are interested in nursing stand? Okay, good, great, great. Okay, do our nurses have any questions? Do our future nurses have any questions for Dr. Berry? Where are our future scientists? We invited some scientists here? Good, great. Because you will find that in order to go to medical school, you have to be strong in the sciences. And we have a lot of people who start out in the sciences and then go on into medicine. Okay, good. Do our scientists have any questions for Dr. Berry? And where are our physicians? Our our medical doctors, will they stand, of the future? Great. One, come on, let's see you up. Great. Great. Dr. Berry is a young man, but he won't be around forever. So we're going to have some. Great. You got elementary students. That is good. Gerald, would you, before we leave, try to get some of these people? We're going to get a good shot of them before we leave, okay? Where are our pharmacists, people who are going to help fill these prescriptions that these doctors write? Do you have any pharmacists? Nurses' aides? Nurses' assistants? Any dentists of the future? That's great. Well, thank you very much for coming. You've been very attentive, most of you. I'd like to see our future nurses, physicians, and scientists, if they would just remain with us for a few minutes up front so Gerald can get your picture and so that the newspaper can get your picture. We'd like for all elementary students who are not going into nursing or medicine to please leave at this time, or science. So that's good. All of you can stay, so come up front. Elementary students up front. Just make a nice row up here so Trina can get a picture of you. And so Gerald can put you on the video camera. Let the sixth graders get on the back row and the fourth graders in the front and the fifth graders in the middle. Good. Come on up. Move up closer so they can get a picture. Sixth graders, move on up. They won't hurt you. Good. Trina, can you get them? Charlie, can you go around and turn the gear on? Thank you. You may be dismissed. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of the day. Any of you'd like to stop by and talk with Dr. Berry for a few minutes on your way out, you may do that. That one young lady's mother is already a nurse. Natalie's mother is a nurse already. Our seventh graders, where are you? Up front, we're interested in medicine, nursing, science. Okay, those seventh graders who are with us, if you're not interested in those areas, you may pass now. Thank you. Ms. Belson? All seventh graders may leave. Thank you. Eighth graders, up front. Sure, come on up. This is Ms. Matthews. This is one of our senior editors. Eighth graders, scientists, physicians, dentists, nurses, astronauts. Mrs. Johnson, thank you for bringing your class. It was very nice. We want them to cover all of our Black History programs if they can. And all other students, if you're not going to get your picture taken, would you please quietly go back to your sixth period class. If any of you'd like to meet Dr. Berry personally, please come on up and do so. Tiffany, I need to see you before you go back to class.